How to print comic books. If you're an aspiring comic book creator, you might be wondering how to turn your artwork and stories into physical comic books. Let's break down the process step by step. First, you need to decide on the size of your comic book. This is crucial because it affects your artwork and the overall look of your book. For a standard US comic book, the trim lines typically bound an area measuring 6.7 inches by 10.2 inches. Next, you need to understand the concepts of trim lines, bleed area, and quiet area. Trim lines are where your comic will be cut, but there's a slight margin of error, so you need to account for this in your design. The bleed area is 0.125 inches outside each trim line, ensuring that your artwork extends beyond the edges to avoid any white borders after cutting. The quiet area is where you keep important elements of your artwork, like speech bubbles and key images, to prevent them from being cut off. When setting up your print file, make sure to use CMYK colors, as this is the standard for printing. All your images should be between 300 and 400 dpi for high-quality prints. It's also important to submit your designs as PDFs to ensure everything looks exactly as you intended. Choosing the right paper and binding is also vital. You can opt for perfect bound books, which are durable and look professional but are more expensive, or saddle-stitched books, which are more cost-efficient and suitable for up to 64-page books. For the binding process, perfect bound books use binding glue and are ideal for larger comic books. Saddle-stitch books use small wire staples and are great for smaller books. You can also choose between full-color printing, which makes a bigger impact but is more expensive, or black and white printing, which is more budget-friendly. Before sending your work to the printer, ensure that your page layout is optimized. This includes setting up gutters, margins, and text size correctly. If you're using the saddle stitch method, your page count should be divisible by 4. When it comes to coloring, modern comics are usually colored digitally using 4-color printing. This involves applying each of the 4 base colors, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, individually to create the final effect. If you're preparing your comic book for printing, it's helpful to use templates for InDesign or Photoshop to format your pages correctly. Keep all important elements within the margins to avoid any issues during the printing process. For printing, you can use services like Comix Wellspring, which offer high-quality comic paper, various binding and gloss options, and fast turnaround times. They also provide multiple printing and shipping speeds, so you can get your comics as quickly as you need them. In terms of cost, some printers have a minimum order quantity of 25 copies, making it more affordable for indie creators. This is significantly lower than the 100 or more copies required by other companies, which can be cost-prohibitive for small creators. By following these steps and guidelines, you can ensure that your comic book is printed to the highest quality and looks exactly how you envisioned it. Remember to double-check all your settings and designs before sending them off to the printer, and you'll be well on your way to creating professional-looking comic books.